Racist? But I watch Oprah Winfrey every day.
Oof, yeah, you definitely could not get away with making this movie now. Well, you guys really seem to love our coverage of Eurotrip, and of course that signaled one thing to us. We now have an excuse to revisit Todd Phillips' first movie, Road Trip. I gotta tell you, I'm not sure this one holds up quite as good as Eurotrip. It just feels a little bit more mean-spirited, which I think is something that could be said for a lot of Todd Phillips' movies. If you don't know this one, it's basically the exact plot of Eurotrip, as this was kind of the film that laid the groundwork for that one. However, this one does also have its very own stacked cast of late 90s and early 2000s up-and-comers. This is a movie that I found hilarious when it came out when I was a kid, because of course it was all of the raunchy and inappropriate goodness that an adolescent teenage boy would be looking for. Revisiting now, I can see that it might be a little bit problematic, so I've got Chris Bumbray here to tell all of you exactly what the f happened to Road Trip.
Every once in a while, a movie comes out that makes so much money it totally shakes up the film industry. This is especially true when a genre that was considered dead and buried comes along and makes some serious cash. This happened in a big way in 1999 when American Pie, a movie that cost all of $11 million, made more than $235 million worldwide, and that's not even considering how well it sold on DVD.
Oh, and this one time, at band camp, I stuck a flute in my
Think about it. The biggest star in the movie was Eugene Levy.
Well, we'll just tell your mother that we ate it all.
More than that, it was a teen sex comedy. The genre had all but played itself out in the early 80s when Porky's was such a big hit that every studio decided to make a sex comedy, and pretty much all of them tanked, especially the multiple Porky's sequels. They were replaced by John Hughes' brand of more thoughtful teen comedies, only for that genre to also get played out as well.
Oh, sexy girlfriend!
In fact, the year before American Pie came out, Sony made a John Hughes-style sex comedy, Can't Hardly Wait, and it only did modest business despite being stacked with the biggest teen stars of the moment.
Yo, I gotta have sex tonight.
So, when American Pie came out, pretty much every studio in town decided to do their own R-rated teen sex comedy. One of the most successful was Road Trip, which was produced by DreamWorks SKG. At the time, DreamWorks was the newest studio in town, with it run by Steven Spielberg, Jeffrey Katzenberg, and David Geffen, the SKG of the title. They had just won Best Picture with American Beauty at the Oscars and had a massive smash hit with Gladiator.
Husband to a murdered wife, and I will have my vengeance.
And they were in the business of making mainstream commercial fare, and no doubt, the American Pie model was very attractive to them. The film would depart just a tiny bit from the American Pie formula by making its lead college freshman, which was more in line with Animal House.
Larry Kroger.
In fact, one could argue that the entire movie was inspired by the famous sequence where the Delta House heroes go on a disastrous road trip, which is fitting as that movie's producer, Ivan Reitman, was also an EP on this.
What are we gonna do?
Road Trip.
The movie marked the feature directorial debut of Todd Phillips, who would eventually direct the Hangover trilogy as well as Joker. Oh wait, there was a sequel? No, there wasn't. You crazy.
It's okay, baby. Let's give the people what they want.
At the time, he was most famous for several well-directed documentaries, including Hated, Gigi Allen and the Murder Junkies, and Frat House, which, despite winning a grand jury prize at Sundance, never came out legally because the participants said it was largely fake.
Thank you, sir. May I have another?
Phillips would write Road Trip with Scott Armstrong, who would go on to be a regular collaborator with him all the way through the end of the Hangover trilogy. The premise was pretty simple in that a nice college freshman, played by Breckin Meyer, thinks his girlfriend has ghosted him. As such, he hooks up with a girl he likes, Amy Smart's Bet, and even videotapes the two of them having sex. Yet by accident, one of his dorm mates mails the sex tape to his girlfriend, who actually turns out to have a reasonable reason for not communicating with him. So him and his pals go on a road trip to Austin from Ithaca in order to intercept the tape before she returns to school.
What else am I gonna do? Stay here and learn? Road trip.
Hedging their bets, Phillips and company cast Sean William Scott, one of the breakout stars of American Pie, to virtually reprise his role from that film. With the characters being so close, it's kind of a miracle the makers didn't sue. Another of the movie's co-stars was Tom Green, who at the time was a rising star on MTV and would briefly become this huge icon of the early 2000s.
Chad.
However, his reign at the box office lasted about a year, with his vehicle Freddy Got Fingered being considered one of the biggest flops of all time, and it came out less than a year after this. But I don't know, I mean, I kind of like it.
He's a child molester!
Road Trip turned out to be a big box office hit, but it didn't make the kind of money American Pie did. Even still, it made well over $100 million worldwide, so DreamWorks had to be pleased, and it launched Phillips' career with his follow-up, Old School, an even bigger hit.
Got a fucking dart in your neck.
Road Trip even got a quasi-sequel with Euro Trip, which we previously covered on this channel, before getting a DTV sequel no one saw called Road Trip Beer Pong. You see, by the time the sequel got made, the teen sex comedy genre had become more of a niche thing for the DTV market, with American Pie getting many DTV sequels, which have more or less been forgotten by time, but apparently are getting a big box set coming up soon, so that's interesting, from Kino Lorber. Very strange. But I digress.
Dipshit!
I don't think I've changed all that much. Recently I rewatched Euro Trip and I still found it hysterically funny, so I figured that this one would hold up as well. What's wrong with it? I think the issue, to me anyway, is that the guys in the film are simply put assholes. Todd Phillips has always had a mean streak in his work. It's just a fact. And it's very much on display here. The three cool guys are pricks, with DJ Qualls' nerdy character, Kyle, treated shockingly badly by them throughout the entire movie, with them trashing his car, making his parents think he's dead, and then mocking him for who he hooks up with at a frat house party. Oh yeah, and they also steal a bus from a blind school.
It's good.
They also try to watch their buddy's sex tape. Now, I'm not going to sit here and pretend any of this actually matters, because you know what? The guys in Animal House do way worse. The problem with Road Trip is that none of this stuff is actually all that funny. Tom Green's mugging is especially bad in hindsight, with him just doing shtick that got old so fast it pretty much ended his career, and colors the movie when you rewatch it.
You are a psycho.
The acting is kind of dodgy too, with Breckin Myers not very likable as our nice guy hero. He'd be a lot better a couple years later in Rat Race, which would actually reteam him with Amy Smart.
Before we continue with our video, here's a reminder to click the store tab on any of our Joe Blow channels and browse our collection of the latest and freshest designs in our merch store. Go get you some.
Co-star Paulo Costanzo is also doing exactly what Eddie K. Thomas did in American Pie, but not nearly as well, and Sean William Scott is basically just playing Stifler again. And in fact, he would be typecast for years before Hollywood finally let him show off his range. That said, DJ Qualls was undeniably a solid find for director Todd Phillips, but he's so likable that when the guys treat him badly, you can't help but despise all of them, even though Phillips clearly thinks it's hilarious when they pick on the nerd. That said, there are some funny parts, like when Sean William Scott gets his prostate milked.
Oh! Stop! Okay, keep doing it. Yeah!
And the bit with Barry's grandparents, with the grandfather knocking things over with his Viagra-induced erection. That kind of stuff still makes me laugh, as does him getting stoned with them. Amy Smart is also pretty charming as the love interest Beth, but she comes off as way too good for Myers' Josh, who really doesn't earn our sympathy like other teen sex comedy heroes of the era. Also, I have to say, Road Trip is a really ugly-looking movie. This is kind of strange because Todd Phillips is known for having these beautiful-looking movies, with the Hangover trilogy especially gorgeous thanks to the work of DP Lawrence Sher. Phillips has always had a very strong visual style, but it's not really on display in Road Trip, I guess because he was just getting started with it. Kind of an ugly-looking movie.
Unleash the fury!
But you know what? A lot of comedies of the era were all shot like this, as basically elevated sitcoms. Truth be told, I think it just kind of looks cheap. All that said, Road Trip clearly has some fans, and if you think it still holds up, well, more power to you. That said, for teen sex road comedies, I'm going to stick with Euro Trip, or I'm just going to revisit Animal House for the zillionth time, which is still a classic, and this, sadly, is no Animal House.
Thank you, God!
That said, everyone would go on to bigger and better things, mostly with Phillips actually making a movie that I think holds up extremely well just a couple of years later, Old School. But hey, maybe we'll cover that one on another video if you guys like this one. So let us know in the comments if you'd like to see it.
Thank you for clicking on our video, everybody. If you like what you saw here, please make sure you like the video and subscribe and share with your friends who like this sort of content. Joe Blow was created by movie fans for movie fans, and we appreciate your support.